Boris Johnson to consider calls to legalise magic mushroom drug psilocybin.
Here's a summary of the article.
Tory MP Crispin Blunt urged the PM to review the law to allow more research into the drug's therapeutic qualities. Campaigners, including Mr. Blunt, want it to be moved to Schedule 2 with restrictions to prevent inappropriate prescribing as to facilitate medical and scientific research. Mr. Johnson told him, "I can say that we will consider the Advisory Council on the Misuse of Drugs' recent advice on reducing barriers to research with controlled drugs such as the one he describes, and we will be getting back to him as soon as possible. There is no record anywhere that a substance that has come out of Schedule 2 and gone into the criminal supply chain," he told BBC News. Initial clinical research shows that psilocybin, in conjunction with talking therapies, can help people with post-traumatic stress disorder. There are ongoing trials and research into psilocybin taking place in the UK, and while the medicine has yet to be licensed by the Medicines and Healthcare Products Regulatory Agency, if and when it is, we will consider rescheduling it, he said. David Badcock, chief executive of the charity Drug Science, said current research on psilocybin was promising but more was required. "We know there is huge therapeutic potential in psilocybin, but the trouble is, there is evidence, but we need more research."
This post received a score of 6,100, with an upvote ratio of 97%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
Until about year 2000 we could buy fresh shrooms legally in UK.
2005 is when they were made illegal in the UK. I was at a festival when the law came into effect. A shop owner gave our group all of their stock about 5 minutes before midnight. What a night that was. Closing parenthesis.
I remember this. I was at Glasgow.
Greater than I remember this, I fucking wouldn't.
LMAO fucking right.
Greater than Tory MP Crispin Blunt, you can't make it up.
A beautiful aptonym once again. Nominative determinism at its finest right there.
Thanks. I learned 2 new things from your comment.
I remember maybe 20 years ago in Brighton you could go to a store and buy 20 grams fresh Thai mushroom over the counter. I guess Boris remembers it too. And also remembers that it was not a problem either.
In general, one could argue that legalizing drugs, any and all, is only a problem for organized crime.
Decriminalizing all drugs would only be a problem for organized crime. Legalizing all drugs would cause problems, as some drugs are basically just hyper-addictive poison. As in, no one thinks being able to buy crystal meth from a corner store would be a good idea.
You can restrict legal things. You can't buy a lottery ticket, or fuel, or a kitchen knife unless some preconditions are met. But all those things are legal.
Even alcohol is harder to get than some drugs when you're under 18.
Maybe try legalize weed first, Johnson. How about that?
I think it's outlawed there for the same reason it's still outlawed here in Germany. The UK has a big drinking culture, so the alcohol lobby does everything to prevent weed from becoming legal.
It's had very little impact here in the US. There's some argument that it's reduced extreme binge drinking, but it's not hurting overall sales.
Greater than there's some argument that it's reduced extreme binge drinking, but it's not hurting overall sales. A net benefit to society, you say? Well, we can't be having that now.
Is it Gove doing the calling by any chance?
Gove is just after cocaine, not shrooms. I hope it happens. We now have a global mental health crisis and psilocybin could be genuinely helpful.
A lot of awful shit happened to me throughout childhood. Even after over a decade of different therapies and medications, I still struggle to function on a day-to-day basis due to complex trauma. I've been keeping an eye on research on psilocybin and trauma for years, and I've seen researchers cite its current illegal status as a barrier to progress. I really hope this goes somewhere. I've reached a point where it feels like current treatment options aren't going to help and it's a shit place to be.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.